Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Emmy the Cat Lady here, and I thought since this is Halloween and I'm a big fan of all things spooky, I thought I would bring you a spooky vault tale, which is the tale of Vault 77. So this vault doesn't directly appear in any of the games or in the TV show, but there is canonical evidence of its existence. So Vault 77, like most of the vaults, had an experiment. This one was psychologically very cruel. The It only had one single inhabitant, one single man who was locked inside the vault alone. He protested and shouted and banged on the door but got nowhere, and eventually he had to accept that that was his life. Now, nearly 2 years later, in February of 2079, he discovered a crate of puppets inside the vault. With little else to do, he began playing with the puppets and found a bit of company in this lonely existence. By March 30th, he was convinced that the Vault Boy puppet was talking to him. The King puppet turns up murdered overnight and he's been ripped apart. He accuses the Vault Boy puppet, but the puppet insisted it was both of them that did the horrible deed. So he decides to leave before the other puppets catch on, discovering the horrors of the wasteland. He eventually manages to tame a giant ant, which was dubbed Mr. Pinch, and ends up chatting to a ghoulified vault dweller from a different vault. But then him and the Vault Boy puppet are captured by raiders, and he warns them about the dangerous Vault Boy puppet. They scoff, reasonably assuming that the guy's just insane. We don't see what happens, but one of the raiders survives, although he's sporting several injuries, and he is seen warning his buddies of the Puppet Man. And the comic ends by reminding us that the vaults were never really meant to save anyone. So this story was a webcomic that was created with Penny Arcade to promote Fallout 3 back in 2008. So if you explore the wasteland thoroughly and find yourself in Paradise Falls, either by bribing your way in, being evil, or killing the slavers there, if you do that, you can find a Vault 77 jumpsuit and a holotape on a shelf in the slaver barracks. So I'll let you hear the holotape in full.
Like I told you, man, I don't fucking know where it came from. But it freaks the boys out. Some story from a while back about a stranger with no name. Just get rid of the damn thing. Ain't no good gonna come from keeping it around. Besides, if it is his, maybe he'll come back for it. Comprende?
So clearly, the slavers here have heard rumours about the owner of the jumpsuit, and there's obvious superstition and fear surrounding it. Eulogy even thinks the man might come back for it, and these are tough, experienced wastelanders. They make a living enslaving people. They're not going to be easily spooked by things, but they seem to be quite superstitious about this Vault 77 jumpsuit, which does give you +5 to unarmed and +5 to melee, which is interesting. So there we have it. Another horrible experiment by Vault-Tec showing what prolonged complete isolation will do to the human psyche, or was it really the Vault Boy puppet doing all the killing? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. I will also link to the comic itself so that you can have a read. It's a short one, but it's quite fun, and I think as marketing material for Fallout 3, I think it did the job pretty well. It's really, really good. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Happy Halloween. Happy Samhain if you celebrate that. And I'll see you all soon with some more Fallout content. Bye.